Today I'm going to talk about 8 tips and questions that will help you discover your passion. So first of all, why do we need to have a passion? Why do we need to find a passion? And I think it's because when you have something you want to do, then everything we do in our life, every action we do every day, really, it has a purpose, it has a why behind it. So we have more energy, we have more passion, we have way more perseverance. So that's why it's really important to know what we want to do and what we are passionate about. I remember a story of 3 layers, so 3 bricklayers, workers. So there was a guy who's walking and he see bricklayers, and he asks the first one, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm laying bricks." Then he asked the second one, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm building a wall." And then he asked the last one, who seems to be very happy, he's smiling, he's laughing, and he's very motivated. And he said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm building the house of God." So the point is they're doing the exact same work, but the last one has a meaning, it has a strong why behind what he's doing. So he's very motivated and he's very inspired. So he has a lot of energy, a lot of passion, and he's laughing, he's happy. So I think that's why it's very important to really have a passion, something you're really passionate about in your life, and that you can do for the rest of your life. So first of all, I would like to give you some tips on some characteristics of a passion or life purpose that I learned from Celestine Schwa from Personal Excellence. She has a website, she's a coach. So there are 4 characteristics of a great life purpose. The first one is it has to be timeless. So even if you were born maybe a century ago, or even in the future, if you were born 100 years later in the future, you will still have the same passion or the same goal, the same vision. So that's the first characteristic. The second one is it is universal. So it doesn't matter where you were born. Even if you were born in a different country, in a different continent, you will have the same purpose or the same mission in your life. And the third one is it has to be, obviously, it has to be inspiring. It has to inspire you. And you have to be motivated every day and excited about it, excited to work on your passion, on your life purpose. And the last point is it has to be transcendent, meaning that it goes beyond the ego, beyond trying to get things, trying to get famous, trying to make money. It goes beyond that. So you act really out of love, out of passion, and you're not trying to get something back in return. So that would be a good life purpose. So I have for you today's 8 tips and questions that will help you discover your passion. So the first one is actually very simple. Is I encourage you to spend more time on your own, because nowadays we are too distracted by friends, colleagues, or partying, playing video games, watching TVs, going on internet, and we are way too distracted by the media, also by the news, by the marketers, and it's really hard to connect with what we really want to do, to connect with ourselves. So I encourage you as a first step to really spend more time on your own. So maybe you want to take a day off or spend a weekend on yourself, on your own. Maybe you want to go to a retreat or to go to some vacation. But get into the habit of really spending more time on your own and really think by yourself and try to learn to rely on your intuition. So that's the first tip for you. The second one is you want to be patient and try many different things. I know for myself, it took me maybe 10 years to really find out what I wanted to do. Of course, I did many things I enjoyed, like studying Japanese, studying English, studying business. But then I went into more personal development, psychology, that I really enjoyed. I really wanted to do that for the rest of my life. But it took me 10 years. So really, don't worry if you need time to really figure it out. And take your time, and more importantly, try as many things as you can. Try different hobbies, try different jobs, and see what sticks, see what you like, and see what you really want to keep doing. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is you want to imagine yourself as being already your best self. So imagine yourself if you were absolutely confident, absolutely certain, and you had everything you need to succeed. And also imagine yourself as having, no problem with money, no problem with fear, and really being the best you can possibly be. And imagine being that person right now. And what would that person do today? What would that person do tomorrow and every day as a job or as a mission? So that's one more tip, but one more question I encourage you to really think about. What would you do if you were already the best version of yourself? And the next tip is I encourage you to look at your challenges that you have overcome in the past. So maybe you were shy and now you're very confident, you overcome that shyness. Maybe you were overweight, or maybe you were abused and now you're really happy and content with your life. And you might want to use your experience to help other people in the same situation. And that could be your passion, that could be your life purpose. And that would give you a lot of energy and a lot of perseverance also. So that's something you might want to look at. Any challenge that you overcome in the past. That's tip number 4. And the next one is, who do you envy? And I like this question. So when you look at people around you, your friends, your colleagues, your family members, anyone you know, is there anybody who really envy, who has what you want? Because when you envy someone, it means that he has or she has what you want. And that's a good way to really know what you want. It might help you. I remember when I was reading a book by Susan Cain called Quiet, she mentioned that she was envying a friend who was a psychologist and a writer, and she was a lawyer. And that's when she realized that she wanted to do something else with her life, and she changed her career. So a great question, who do you envy in your life? And I know for myself, I envy, or I envied, and still today, like personal development bloggers or YouTubers who are very successful, and they are doing exactly what I want to do, and I really envy, and I wish I could do the same thing and have the same success. And so I know it is what I want to do. So that's tip number 5. The next one is, you probably heard it before. It's a question, what did you love to do when you were a kid? So maybe it is painting or writing or playing some sports or anything you'd like to do when you were a kid. And I know for myself, I used to read a lot, and I was also writing like short story when I was maybe 7, 8 years old. Stories about princess and prince, dungeons, dragons, these kind of stories. And the fun part is that now I'm actually, okay, sorry, there's a guy, walker outside. Now I'm actually, I was talking about, I'm actually writing, I'm 32 now, I'm writing books. And I didn't know I would do that in the future. So it's very interesting. And then the next one is, what are you compelled to do? So what do I mean by that? I mean, in your job now, if you have a job, for instance, you might have things you're doing as a volunteer. Maybe you're creating a newsletter, or you're creating some kind of comedy, or you have some ideas, and you are doing on your own initiative, not because of your boss. And these things are a good indicator that it is something that you might want to do more in the future, either in your current job or maybe in a different career. So you might also want to look at these things you're doing as a volunteer in your life, not only at your job, but also as a hobby maybe, or in your free time. And the last question is, what is your way of expressing yourself to the world? Because I think what a passion is in the end is expressing yourself to the world the best you possibly can. So maybe you want to express yourself in writing or by speaking or in one-on-one conversations with a patient, maybe if you want to be a doctor or a nurse. And how do you want people to feel also? Do you want to educate them? Do you want to entertain them? Do you want to make them laugh? Do you want to inspire them? So all these things, how do you want them to feel? So that's the last point I wanted to mention today. So, and also last point is, what is a passion or one thing, a strength you have, but you believe nobody else can do? Even if it is arrogant to feel that way, maybe there's one thing that you believe nobody else can do in your own personal way. You have a way to do it that nobody else can do, and that would be something you want to look at. I know for myself that, for instance, a few things I think I'm good at is desire to learn. I always want to learn and grow. Also, my ability to believe in people, believe that they can change. And I think it's also very important to believe that other people can change when you want to help them. So I think it would be one of the things that not only me, but I think I would be very good at it. So that's what I wanted to mention today in this video on finding your passion. I hope you enjoyed it. So I will do one more Facebook Live next week. I still have to find a topic. So again, 8 tips and questions. So spend more time alone. Be patient and try many new things in your life. Imagine yourself as being already the best version of yourself, and think of what you will be doing. Think of any life challenges you overcome, and look at who do you envy around you, who you envy around maybe a colleague or friends, and think of what you loved to do when you were a kid. And also think in terms of what are the things you're doing for free as a volunteer, either at work or as a hobby. And finally, really think of how do you want to express yourself to the world. What is your own personal way to express yourself to the world? Maybe it's writing, speaking, and also how do you want people to feel? So, do you want to inspire them? Do you want to create beauty, art? And do you want to educate people, entertain them? So what is your personal way or how do you want to express yourself to the world? So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.